What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. We're going to be talking about FA Cup, United versus Newport. And was it an easy match or was it a hard match? We'll discuss. I feel like it was both. We'll talk about uh, Aston Villa versus Chelsea and how Aston Villa was hostage in their half for most of that game. They kind of broke out of it in the second half, but the game ended 0-0. We'll talk about Liverpool. We'll talk about Klopp quitting. What a quitter. We'll talk about Xavi Alonso. He said, I want to translate Xavi Alonso's announcement in Spanish that he's leaving Barcelona. Like I know exactly what he was saying. So we'll go through that. We're going to talk about Marcus Rashford and, how good the club life must be in, is it Belfast? Where was he?
Yeah, he's in Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. So, hey, man. So now we all know it's worth not playing professional soccer for. That's how good the nightlife is there. But I want to introduce some of the co-hosts for the podcast today. We got the usual standard, reliable, funny Lee Hudson, stand-up comic and Southampton fan, straight out of England. What up, fam?
I'm good. Watched the Southampton Watford game earlier. We're still in the cup. We're not fully in the cup, but we're still in the cup technically. So yeah,
you're gonna have to explain that to me later.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got a replay coming up, but no, it's been a good day.
Cool. And we got Stuart Thompson, stand-up comic, Chelsea fan. Used to be on the pod a lot. He just shot a special, and it's coming out. Valentine's Day, is that Valentine's Day, Stu? So we're going to talk about that. And you missed a lot of the bad points of Chelsea this year, so you came on right on time. I think Chelsea's about to turn it around, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying?
That's
At least there's nothing. Go ahead.
That's how I timed it. So thank you for having me on right as Chelsea's having a more positive swing. It's been real sad that most of this year, and but now it's might be looking up. We'll see. Thanks for having me back, Ian.
My pleasure, man. Chelsea's so bad, Neil don't want a podcast no more. Neil's like, fuck soccer and this podcast. Our team is doing bad.
Yeah, Neil's starting a cricket podcast instead.
It's hilarious. So let me see what to get into. Do you want to? So when did you, just because we're comics, we just ask you about your special. Where and when did you shoot it?
Yeah, I shot it in November at the Punchline in San Francisco, and it's going to be coming out on February 14th, Wednesday, on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So if you just look up Stuart B. Thompson or Stuart Thompson Comedy, you'll be able to find it on my socials and on my YouTube channel. And it's called Conditional Love. So that's why I'm releasing it on Valentine's Day.
Conditional love. Hilarious. Are you trying to get an ex-girlfriend back? Is that why?
No, it's if you watch, my director and I were running through different title ideas, and some of the ones that were ringing as fun were from like earlier jokes in the special, and I didn't want those jokes to be kind of tipped off so soon. And Conditional Love comes from the last story in the special. So if you watch all the way through, you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about when I say Conditional Love. But yeah, not talking about an ex-girlfriend.
All right, everybody, press on the little round thing and drag it all the way to the end, and just listen to that joke, and everybody wins.
I think it's long enough that it'll count as a view. So
yeah.
I hope people enjoy the rest of it too.
I watched the whole thing. Stu's a funny motherfucker.
Thanks,
and one of the rare comics in America that's into soccer. And so
it's growing, man. It's growing.
It's growing, man. Less people are punching me in the head when I say the S word. So it's definitely growing.
Yeah. We're still violent people. So
yeah. Don't trust me. I know. I guess we should go into Man United first. But Lee, you on the ground in England. You're probably in the bar with Marcus Rashford when he took the photo with the two girls sitting on his lap. And it's listen, man. From what I hear, he called in sick. The two women sitting on his lap looked like nurses, so it looked like they wouldn't have told him he was sick if he wasn't sick. So what's the problem here? Tell us this story so we could chop it up.
I mean, I don't know all the details, but yeah, he got caught out. Yeah, he got caught slipping. It's I don't. He should have said he was out there trying to like feed the starving kids again or something. Because like he's someone that has so much like good credit with people because of the stuff he's done off the pitch.
Right.
Campaigning for underprivileged kids to get fed by the government and stuff. So yeah, he could have just said he was out there on some government work, and then I don't know, man. But yeah, it's not a great look when you're meant to be acting professional. I think like when a club is not necessarily at the level they should be at, which I'd say you're a little bit below where you should be right now.
A little bit. How generous of
you. Just a little bit. Those things always get like magnified more. Like if you were in the top 4, no one would really care. Which is, I say, that's where, in my opinion, you should be as a club in the top 4. And yeah, just when things aren't quite going your way, then yeah, these things they get blown up, they get magnified, they get splashed around the press a little bit more. Like it would have made the press anyway. But yeah, he needs to be more careful about the company he keeps. Because
or the photographers he hangs out with.
Yeah, just tell everyone I'm here. I'm not meant to be here. So as far as you're concerned, I'm not here. Like camera wise, don't be taking no pic. He needs to act like the mothership and get everyone in pouches, or like a Chappelle or Rock show or something.
A yarn
like
the bag.
Yeah, phones in the pouches. Mm-hmm. No one's doing anything. Get the phones in the bags.
I'm trying to look for the photo, but he was in the club, and he had like he's with his friend because he went up there. There's a Manchester United player that just signed for a club up there, so he went to see the kid play. But then he calls in sick, I think. But the night before, he was in a club with some chicks, so it's like it didn't feel like he came back on time. And you know how football is. Like he got in trouble on his birthday because they had just lost, I think, to Man City, but that night was his birthday party. So it's like he went to his birthday party, and people were pissed in. And it was at a restaurant that has a club, and it was already planned. Like, nobody plans to not celebrate their birthday no matter what happens that day. So he's just being a normal person. So if you got in trouble for that, you could get in trouble for this. So
yeah, the fans got to be vicious, man.
So what?
The fans got to be vicious. I mean, what are they? It would be funny if Rashford did cancel his birthday on account of the fact that his team lost that day. It's like, just letting people know is like, hey, like, is that going to make the fans feel any better that he's just like, stewing in like some sort of self-loathing after a loss?
Goals will make them feel better.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Some goals and like more effort on the pitch. And I was talking to Lloyd, and he feels like, Lloyd is a black West Indian, grew up and born in England, and he feels like, people are just targeting Rashford. But I'm a Man United fan, and on this one, I can't support Rashford on this one. Other things, yeah, even the birthday thing, I was like, yeah, go enjoy your birthday. You didn't tell the Premier League to schedule that game on the day of your birthday party. You got to do both regardless. But this one has nothing to do with the Premier League scheduling. This is on you, and you just can't get caught out like that, like Lee said. So, and you got to be having a good season at least. Like last year, he showed us all these goals, and disability, and everybody was loving it and rooting for him. He got a new contract. And now you have this new contract. The goals done dried up. He
I feel
plays
like that
better with
happens
less
with a lot of
money.
players, though.
He plays better with less money.
I think a lot of players do. I mean, I remember that was a big deal with Aubameyang when he was at
Oh yeah.
Arsenal.
Mhm.
He, they gave him this like massive contract and he had been on fire. I get why they gave it to him.
Mm.
And then for some reason it was, I mean, I think there's a certain level of complacency that a huge contract and all the news and media around it must bring to a player's thought process and to their camp's thought process. It's like,
You
we're
know,
good now.
in football, they have stats for everything, and now they have the players wearing those vests that track how much they run. I wonder if
Yeah.
they can track a player's financial complacency level. You know what I mean? So if the agent's like, I want $2 million, and it says here your player won't play great for 2 million. He'll play good for 1.5. You know what I mean? Because he'll want the five, the extra, the 0.5 extra. So we can't overpay him. He's not going to deliver, so we can't give it to him. Because I think Marcus Rashford is I don't even think it's comfortable. I don't know what's going on in Manchester this season. It's the weirdest thing. We did so good last season. We brought in new players and we got worse. So who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's subtraction by addition. Um,
I
I think maybe they gotta put one of those like those like bra things that they wear for tracking all that you'd have for the financial complacency, you'd have to put it on their head just to track.
Just to see what's the right amount of money to give you to make you go hard for us. I wish we know. But since we're talking about Man United, let's talk about Man United versus Newport. Uh, and what are they saying in England about that game?
People are just a bit confused by it all, to be honest. Like you were saying, like, is it a bad game? Is it a good game? Because like you started off, you were making light work of them at the start. You raced into that 2-goal lead, and it was like, oh, this looks like it will be a calm, uneventful day for Man United. But then Man United don't like calm, uneventful days. So you decided to make it interesting, which, as a neutral, thank you.
Welcome.
You gave me some entertainment. I mean, that first Newport goal as well was a cracker.
Great goal.
Yeah, the one the guy's hitting off the post. It's
also an
fantastic
accident.
Finish. Yeah, but it was a nice hit. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you guys went out with such a strong team, because a lot of people rotate for the FA Cup, but you guys didn't really rotate much at all. Yeah, it was interesting to see them fight back. I think you always get a little bit of that with these lower league clubs where it's a mismatch. There'll be a point in the game where they give it their all and they just can't sustain it. And that was the case. Like they were a little bit overawed at the start. They had their spell, and then second half, the extra quality levels, the extra fitness levels, they kind of end up showing through, and that's where you won the game. One of the most interesting things was there's a clip going around on Twitter of some radio commentary where the commentator exclaims that, oh, the fans are chanting Anthony's the greatest. And then they pause and you can hear what the fans are actually chanting. And it's a word that sounds a little bit like greatest, but it's not greatest. And it's the Newport fans singing it.
Wow.
And then they realize what that word is. And they're like, oh, it's a great clip. We won't say that word here. But it was... yeah, go and have a look for that if you're on Twitter X or whatever it's called now.
I'll be right back. I gotta go find that clip.
Lee, Stu, Vamp.
But yeah, I mean, you got the job done. You're in the hat for the next round, so that's what it's about at the end of the day.
Yeah, listen, it's a. I'll just start from the beginning. What I was impressed about was the team that we walked out on that pitch with in Newport. Like, it's like those Newport players are, oh shit, we got Casemiro today, Fernandez, Varane, like World Cup winners. And the lot, it's the first time in a long time that United has walked out on the pitch with the team we started the first preseason game with. You know what I mean? Like Shaw was there, like we, Garnacho and the only person wasn't there was Rashford and Anthony, and it was just like, oh, this is the team we want to see most of the year, and we haven't seen most of the year, and because we had this break, they're healthy, so the whole full $1 billion marched out onto that pitch that was worth $100. You know what I'm saying? And so that was pretty impressive to see. So I'd like seeing that. And this is a good game for those players to like reacclimate themselves and build chemistry with each other. And yeah, we're united. We went up 2-0, but then we got too confident and too complacent. And I don't blame the team, and I do blame the team, but I don't blame them because I did too. I got on my phone. I wasn't looking. I only got back in after Newport scored. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's put the phone down. Like this is the FA Cup. Shit happens in the FA Cup, and which did happen in this game. Newport started the second half, got their second goal, but I always felt that this team was confident enough, not because we're a confident team, but they're confident enough against Newport to know that they can beat Newport, and we're going to figure this out. The team didn't panic, and then they won it 4-2, which makes it look more like a respectable, like I'm in the Premier League, you're in, what are they in, Division 1? Or
League Two.
League 2, score. But, shit happens in the FA Cup. That's why people watch all the games or look out for, these upsets. Look at is it Maidstone?
Yep.
They had a big upset victory, and they're still in it. So shit happens. I don't know if you have anything to throw in about it, Stu.
I mean, only in the FA Cup do you have dairy farmers go up against a $1 billion team. I've never, I don't think I've ever seen that in like any American sport. I mean, maybe there's some baseball team where that's happened, but I mean, it's to see the contrast, where they're playing on this pitch that's, it's a shared pitch between two different local teams, Newport County and this local rugby team. That was really stark, but yeah, I mean, I can understand why any team of Man U's caliber might get a little complacent after scoring 2 goals, without, in like you said, Lee, they were making light work of them. But yeah, I mean I think Bayern Deers I think it was his debut that game, the goalkeeper, back up to Onana.
Yeah.
I think he demonstrated some sort of nervous play that I think increased Newport County's confidence.
Maybe he couldn't save the first goal, and then the second goal was just a wonder goal, right? It was like
right. It was his passing out of the back, like trying to play from the back. He made some kind of questionable passing that.
Listen, he passed better at the back than Onana has this season. To be honest,
yeah, not saying he's the worst goalkeeper on Man U to play out the back, but he is also causing stress to those players.
Yeah, I feel like people are looking for stuff in the media. We got the Marcus Rashford thing. We've had the season that we had, so people want to be like, "Hey, man, this is." So I get. Like I'm worried too. Like I want us, now that we got these players back, to go on a run, and I won't be unworried until we go on that run. And this team gives me back the confidence that they gave me last year. So we'll see. And then Southampton played. Who did you guys play?
We played Watford away. It was we played them like a month ago in the league, and we drew 1-1, and we played them today, and we drew 1-1. We made 9 changes from our usual team because like the league is the big priority. So we threw
you kind of threw the game away.
Yeah, we threw some teenagers in. A couple of players made their debuts. We got a guy on loan from Bournemouth recently, and he's not match fit, so they put him in from the start.
Damn,
Changed the goalkeeper.
y'all don't give a
Um,
fuck.
no, we tried our hardest. I was actually like
This is
disappointed
match
when
fixing. This
we equalized right at the end of the game. We were 1-0 down, and then we equalized right at the end of the game. And I was like, I didn't want that. Like, this is another game now we have to play. Like the league's our priority, and the championship season is a brutal schedule. There's so many games, so we don't really want another one added in. Um, but I mean, it would be quite nice to beat Watford at home in the replay, because then we get Liverpool in the next round. So that'd be quite cool just to see how this current team we've got stacks up against, one of the top Premier League teams. That'd be quite fun, just as, a barometer of, if we did go up, where would the current squad we have be in those sort of games. But yeah, I mean, it keeps our unbeaten run going as well. We're at 22 games now, which is quite nice. So from that aspect, it's nice not to lose that.
Yeah, keep that going, man.
Yeah, even though it's a cup game. So yeah, all in all, not too bad. But I wouldn't have been that disappointed if we'd gone.
What you wished on Ipswich happened to you, because you
Yeah.
wanted Ipswich to get into a cup tie and have to play again. And now
Yeah.
that's what happened to you guys. You got to play the extra game that you wanted them to have. So I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at Jurgen Klopp. They played Norwich. I feel bad for Norwich. It was going to be tough to beat Liverpool anyway. It's going to be even harder to beat the Liverpool, where their coach just announced his retirement tour, and their Liverpool is at home at Anfield. How did you guys? Where were you when you heard Klopp was quitting, and how do you guys feel about Klopp, like basically announcing his resignation at the end of the season?
I think I found out yesterday that he was quitting, and I was just kind of scrolling through occasional. The only thing I really scroll through Twitter now is to see what Fabrizio Romano is reporting about transfer news. That's really the only thing I get out of Twitter these days, because but I kept seeing all these things about Klopp, and I was like, okay, I mean, it's 10 years. He's been there 10 years, and he's won. I think he's won everything for Liverpool. I mean, at least the big trophies. He won one in the Premier League, won him another Champions League, and took him to additional finals. On top of all that, I mean, he got his teeth fixed during this time. I mean, like there's a lot of shiny wares that he's added to his life.
I have a problem with English dentistry, because first they used to like make fun of English people's teeth for not taking care of their teeth. Now they're just getting the American teeth. An English friend of mine called those teeth American teeth, because a lot of American people just get, it's like, you can't
veneers.
just blatantly just be like, my mouth is new. Like, try to keep it close, bro, to what it originally was, because it's just
a gradual improvement.
It just looks like it's such a like. Now I gotta ignore this. They could person.
They could be like, oh, like, don't make them too bright. Like, put a little bit of yellow on there for us. Like, just
yeah.
So people can relate to you.
Used. Yeah, make them look used.
Can I get some new used teeth, please? Jesus Christ!
I mean,
you have a 2020 set of teeth, because
an older model.
Because these 2026s is just too much.
Yeah, I mean, compared to Firmino's teeth, Klopp is super relatable.
I think they went to the same guy.
Yeah, but Klopp, I mean, I don't know if Klopp's. I think it's interesting that Klopp announced that he's not going to be he wouldn't coach for any other English club, which is interesting, and he's not interested in coaching for any country at the moment. So, I think he deserves a break. I think if you go on a 10-year run like that, yeah, I think he earned it. I think he earned some time off. much in the way that like Zidane has been taking time off, and we can wait for the right opportunity to feel inspired and feel like a fitting um new challenge.
What do you think, Lee? And by the way, Liverpool beat Norwich 5-2. Just to
Um,
give.
yeah, I found out about it on was it Friday? Friday morning when he announced it. But like I found out because one of my friends who's a Liverpool fan texted me the second he heard the news, and I hadn't seen it. He just went, "Can't believe that," or "Can't believe what happened to," or "Can't believe Klopp," or something. And the message, I was like, "Well, he's either quit or he's dead." The way that message reads. So I was like, okay, let me go have a look and see what this is. And yeah, like all the Liverpool fans I know, they're all devastated. But I kind of get it from his perspective. Like Stu said, he's won almost all he can with them. He might end the season with another trophy. And yeah, I think the days of a Ferguson doing 20 something years at a club, those days are gone. Like I don't think we'll ever see the likes of that anymore. So to last as long as he has in the modern game at a Premier League club is pretty. It's a pretty rare situation to be in, and he's leaving. I think in a good place. Like the team's in a fairly good place now. He did the rebuild. If he'd have left when they were like finishing outside the top four and just with a team that was in transition, I think that would have been. It wouldn't have lessened his achievements there, but it definitely would have like made it harder for them to get back depending on who they hired in his place. Whereas now I think someone can come in and they can probably hit the ground running because of the structure that he's put in place with this new team, rebuilt the midfield. They've rebuilt their attack to the point where if Salah left as well, which is a possibility, he might go to Saudi Arabia. He might go elsewhere. If Salah left, I don't think they would be like set back massively. Like he's a loss because he's a wonderful player, but the fact that they've got Diaz, they've got Nunez, they've got Jota, they've got Gakpo, like the squad's in a good place now. So if it is Xabi Alonso or if it's someone else, I think whoever comes in can probably just compete straight away at the top of the league with an additional two because obviously they'll be given funds, but. Just massive achievement from him, and I think we won't see him for a season for at least the way he was talking in that video. Because some people have said like, oh, maybe he'll go to Barca and replace Xavi. It's like no, he's not gonna say that he's leaving Liverpool because he's exhausted and then jump straight into one of the most stressful big club jobs there is. He's got the stature to go and do that, but from what he was saying and how he was saying it, I think he'll take at least a season out to just, process and regroup and recharge his batteries and go into whatever's next with, a renewed energy.
I was just I'm jumping ahead to Xavi Hernandez, but let me just say, as far as Klopp is concerned, I'm a United fan, but there's always parts of Liverpool that I like, even though I'm not supposed to like anything over there. Like I always like Steven Gerrard, and then they got Klopp, and I always like Klopp. Like I like football, so I admire any team, even if it's not United, that has a good part of football in it. So I'm a big fan of Klopp. And I remember when they said they were going to get him at the time, we were struggling and needed a coach. And I'm like, damn, why didn't we get him? Like that was a move we should have made. And he proved me right with everything he's done at Liverpool since he's gotten there. The only thing, and I understand him being honest and saying he's tired, and I believe he is because he's a very energetic guy. I mean, just his celebration at the end of the game when they win takes a lot out of you. You got to do that. You keep winning a lot. You got to do that a lot. And but I just wouldn't have said, and I know he was just trying to prove how much he loves Liverpool and how loyal and dedicated he is to them. But life is short and long at the same time. Never say you will never coach in another club in England again. because you don't know what situation is going to present itself. And that might be his famous last words. Like that's the only thing I'm worried about Klopp. I like him enough to worry that might come back to haunt him. Like 10 years from now, if the perfect situation in England pops up and it ain't Liverpool, like that's the first thing they're going to throw in your face. You know what I mean? And it's just the way the management game work and football works, that's just some shit you don't say. Just if you could go away for 10 years and come back and, there might be a great job there with everybody that there, ex-players, assistants, coaches, people in the hierarchy of the managing of the club, and this might be a perfect situation. I just wouldn't say no shit like that, no matter how much I want to prove my love.
Look at Pochettino with Spurs. I think after leaving Spurs, he said he wouldn't manage like one of their rivals, and then in at Chelsea. So
yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I felt wrong with his speech. Like, I know you're trying to say I love this team, I had a great time, and I'm leaving you, but yeah, and I do, because Man United doesn't have a chance of winning the league. I don't want City to win it. I ain't supposed to want Liverpool to win it, but it'd be cool for Klopp and them to go out on top. I like Klopp, man, and that's how good he is. I like him that much.
Yeah.
Xavi Alonso. I'm gonna kind of read, or Lee. I don't know if you have Xavi's. So I don't know. I don't know if he was inspired by Klopp.
Or Xavi Hernandez.
Xavi Hernandez. But do you have like some of his things that he said in the press conference? I didn't ask you to do it in advance, but if you could find some and just read a sentence or two.
Oh yeah,
and I can tell you, I've been again. I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I've been a fan of teams that have been better than Real Madrid over the years, and some of their players. So I'm a Xavi Hernandez fan, so I kind of understand him, because I've watched him play with passion for so long. So
so the quotes I've got here is where he said, like, I've been a man of the club, I've prioritized it above even myself, I've given everything I have, I'll continue to do so, make the fans feel proud. I think the club needs to change it.
So let me just stop you right there. And he said, motherfuckers. And when Xavi's saying motherfuckers, like, you people criticizing me, the press, and you fucking ungrateful fans. I've given my life to this club. And how dare you come at me on a game-by-game basis after I've won you the league when you didn't expect me to, and I've played with you since I was a kid. Like, you people aren't shit. I'm sorry, continue. I'm just translating.
So where is it? Here we go. I think the club needs a change of dynamic for the good of the players. I believe that they will free themselves. We play with a lot of tension.
Fuck you all. I'm out. Good luck finding someone better, because I was it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
For the good of the board of directors, it is best that I leave. I will give my best until the end of the season.
I've had enough of this shit. I'm gone. I'm going to enjoy my life and this money. Like, you know how much money I've made in this game? And then you guys beg me to leave the Middle East to come here, and this is the shit I got to deal with? Fuck y'all. I'm sorry, continue. It's just Xavi. I'm just just channeling my inner Xavi.
I think all of that will help the dynamic change. This is the message I would like to give. I think I am doing the right thing.
Oh yeah, I'm out. I made up my mind to do this a while ago, but I was inspired by Klopp this week to just let motherfuckers know. So I'm letting you motherfuckers know now. I'm out. So write your articles.
In Barcelona, you always feel like you're not valued. You're mistreated. That's how the club works.
Listen, if I was dating a chick that treated me like this, I would break up with her so fast. And you fans and you media are that chick. So peace. This is abuse.
From a mental health level, it's tough too. I'm a positive guy, but the battery levels keep running out, and at some point, you realize there's no point staying.
I'm losing weight. I don't even work out. I'm in shape. I look like I'm in shape. I look like I'm in the gym, but it's the stress you motherfuckers are giving me that has gotten me in this amount of shape. And you're gonna kill me. And I'm not gonna let you kill me. And anything
Wow.
else? Do you say anything else?
There's a couple other bits, but it's along the same lines.
Yeah, it's all the same. Like, fuck you, ungrateful. Because I feel like Barcelona has a very ungrateful culture. And the media there, same thing for Real Madrid. It's like, come on, man. This is Xavi Alonso. You know how many teams would love to have just one player like this in its lifetime? And all the things he's done, and just the media's never happy, and they're questioning him, his tactics, and like everybody acts like they were a coach, you know, and like
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think it's such a weird mentality at the club that not even Xavi has credit in the bank. Because I mean, he was like one of the greatest ever players, won everything you could win with him as a
Everything.
player, comes in as a coach and wins a title in his first season. And it's like he's still a new manager as well. Like he managed in Qatar for a little bit, but that was just him essentially learning how to be a coach. Now that first season should have been him learning to be a coach at that level, but he won the league and it just put the expectations through the roof. And Barcelona, and through no fault of Xavi's, Barcelona are a shit show of a club off the
Yeah.
field. There's always wars going on in the boardroom between presidents and directors and people. There's a budget that's insane. They keep selling off TV rights and stuff. They keep not paying players contracts. They keep having to sell people to try and balance these things out, and then they get linked with players that they can't afford. Like that's not all. None of that is on the manager.
Right.
That's all being done above his head by the sporting director, by the president, by other people. And it's like, can you not even let the guy have one, not even a bad season, but one average season while he learned? Like he's learning on the job still.
Right.
And it's like, could you not even give one of your own some patience and some time to, because managers make mistakes, they'll get things wrong. Like he's a smart guy. He's shown throughout
Right.
his career that he's been a smart guy. Like he'll learn and he'll, let him write off a season while he learns. And it's unless it's, you're getting smashed every week and it's a disgrace, which it's not. Yeah, I just feel like it's very short-sighted. The same thing will happen to whoever comes in next. They might win something, but the minute it goes even slightly downhill, like they'll be fired. It's a really weird culture, and it's a really weird, like you got to wonder if Pep had a little stumble.
No, Pep didn't have a stumble, but he did get tired of them. That was the gist that I was getting when he quit, because I was watching all of their games. Same thing with the coach that followed him, that's now at PSG.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't. So Pep leaves. So everybody regrets Pep leaving, and then this guy, they're like, he's no Pep. So he just won the
Luis
treble,
Enrique,
and it's left, and like, and then good luck, and then it's like these fans, the press over there is just ridiculous too.
Yeah, but I mean, like if Pep had like a little stumble early on,
Right.
before he won all the big stuff, like they might have got rid of him but luckily for him, he was on a pretty upward trajectory. But it's like they're not giving Xavi any time to develop and grow and become a manager. And it's I feel sad for him, because that's not how you should be treated and how that should end at that club. Like there's certain situations where it's like, oh, Lampard at Chelsea, it's like, you could see he wasn't up to the job. But Xavi he won a league title. Let him have an off season, see how he comes back in the second season. If it's still bad, then do what you got to do. But it just feels a little bit a little bit impatient, a little bit petulant.
Yeah, it's like Barca's turning into the Chelsea of Spain in terms of how they treat their coaches. And they're just going to run through a coach a season, or a coach every 2 seasons until this proves truly untenable. And they're going to miss out on a lot of great people. I mean, they gave more grace to Ronald Koeman than
No,
they
no,
gave
they didn't.
Xavi.
They didn't. They were rude to him too. And Koeman wasn't doing bad. I don't think he won anything. He might have won like a cup or something, which is unacceptable to just win a Copa del Rey or something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, they weren't happy with him. But he wasn't. It wasn't his fault because the club's in financial trouble, so they can't like have the level of players, and you have to like rebuild. And Xavi's rebuilding; he's putting in a lot of the young players from La Masia, and he's trying to like build them up, like from a place where they won't be spending a lot of money in the future because he's got these homegrown players, but there's no patience there. So you know
Yeah.
what? Go implode yourself, Barca, and Xavi's just going to walk away with the explosion in the background as he tosses his lit match and walks away in slow motion like the movies. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do.
If it means that Girona can win this this La Liga, then and have be like the Leicester City of Spain, then I'm cool with it.
I'm
Have
I'm
your implosion.
I'm almost cool with Girona winning, but then I found out that are they in the City Group?
Yeah.
They're a City Group club. So Man City owns them.
Mm.
So, but I do kind of want them to win because if they win and Man City comes second, then Man City might not qualify for Champions League.
Interesting.
Yes, because there was
They'll
this
find a
thing
way
where
around it.
yeah, you know what, you're right. Yeah,
Like the Red Bull teams, they'll find a way around it.
yeah, yeah. The Red Bull teams do find a way around it, but there's no laws. There's no rule. Man City won't figure out a way how to break. So yeah. Should we talk about? Let me just run through some scores just to make sure we pay enough attention. I did mention that Chelsea played Villa. Did you get to see that game, Stu, or what did you think about? What do you think about Chelsea now, like where they're at now at this point of the season?
Um, I think they've made some, minor improvements to the overall structure of their squad, and I think some of these, numerous trades that they've made over the last couple transfer windows could pan out if these players stick around. But you know, there's a lot of players that they have that are super young, and that's their style. They like having super young players, these, the Nico Jacksons of the world, and the Badia Shields and the Disassis and the Malagustos of the world. But um, I think it would be nice if they had some mature players that were playing more consistently. Like if Chilwell was playing more consistency, I think he always adds something, some more backbone to the team, even though he's on the far left side.
I
Uh,
mean, he just keeps getting injured. They
yeah,
would they would play him, but he just keeps getting injured.
yeah, and I mean they're gonna have to find an answer to, the imminent end to Thiago Silva's tenure on the club, because he's doing okay, but you're starting to see these little elements of him not being able to keep up with the particularly conniving and swift forwards that he's up against. But he does make a lot of really smart decisions overall. That doesn't always pan out, and he sometimes does succumb to fatigue. But I think having someone like Nkunku long term could be great. But again, he hasn't had much time to show how excellent he has been from when he was at Leipzig. So
I feel you'll be all right. It's a matter of fans' patience.
yeah, I'd like us to see us make top seven, and I think we're in ninth last I checked. Um,
Ooh.
but I don't. It's hard to say if that will pan out, quite frankly. I think let me see where we are in the tables. Yeah, we're ninth, and
Nice.
we're kind of, you know, what's been nice is that Newcastle's been slipping. We'd have to surpass, the two above us are Man U and Brighton, and it's within a point for both those teams. Um, and West Ham's in sixth. So, I mean, I could see West Ham slipping, could see Tottenham slip, but I mean, it really would have to come down to injuries at this point for, the rest of the season to really tell who might have lasting power.
So you want to finish? You said seventh.
Yeah, I'd love to be. I mean, if we could do well in, if we could win the Carabao Cup, that'd be cool. If we could, make it past Villa in this FA Cup tie and then maybe go further in the FA Cup, that'd be excellent. But yeah, it's really just about, I think the fact that we haven't had European football to deal with, I think has given the players a little more time to rest because they'll have like sometimes a couple weeks between games now, as opposed to only 3 days most of the season. So I think that's allowed people some grace. But yeah, if we can get seventh, that'd be cool. But just it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, I mean seventh would be good for Chelsea the way they are this season.
Yeah.
But that means you'll be playing Conference League. Do you want to play Conference League?
I think those would be teams that Chelsea could play well against. I don't know how they would handle the schedule because that means they'd be playing on like every other Thursday essentially, or like 2 Thursdays in a row, and so that means because of the way the Premier League games are, then they'd have to be playing on Sundays a bunch. So, but I think those are teams that would be tough to play against, but I think they're beatable, much in the way that like fourth round FA Cup games are doable for them.
I want to go into the games that's coming up this. I would almost said this weekend, but they're going to start on Tuesday. But I did want to compliment Newport. Like I like their field. Like they showed a lot of aerial shots and took us camera wise around their pitch. And I love when you live in the neighborhood and you don't have to leave your house. And just based on the location of your crib, you're a season ticket Newport County fan because you just look out your window and watch the game from your house because you're above the stadium. And it was like a bunch of houses like that. Like I like that super open field. It'll be tough to watch a game if you're there when the weather's bad because you're getting all of it. But if you live in one of those buildings on one of those sides, it was just all open, and then there was these other, like, I wouldn't call them sky rises, but like tall apartment buildings where you could just, the whole building could just go up a few floors and check out the entire game and just be fans. I feel like the way the stadium is built, more people can watch the game for free outside the stadium than the stadium can fit in there. I know the stadium fit like 9,000 people, but like you can make a living charging people to come over to watch games at your crib and pay your rent off. So I like a stadium that helps that gives back to its neighborhood.
Well, the views there aren't as good as there's a team in League One. I think they're in at the moment. They got promoted called Leyton Orient. They're out in East London, and they've actually got, because they had like an old school English stadium with 4 stands, no corners. And then they built apartments in 2 of the corners, and they have balconies. They have balconies that overlook the field.
Wow, that's bananas, bro.
Like built into the corners. So if you own one of those apartments, like you need to like football. And you need to like a varying level of football because that's not Premier League out your window. That's
hey, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, they sort of move between like League One and League Two previously and stuff. So yeah, it's a nice ground though. I like it there. I've been a few times and it's it's a good place, but it's just interesting. I think it's the only place in the UK where the buildings are actually like purposely built into the stadium. There's a few, obviously, like Luton Stadium, you have to walk through houses to get into it, kind of thing. And Newport's one has got some places that overlook it, but yeah, none of them are intentionally built into it like this one, which is quite crazy.
Isn't there
it's
like
gotta
a
be a hell of an
baseball?
HOA payment.
Hilarious. Isn't there like a baseball stadium, Stu? Like, is it Wrigley Park or something like that, where you could, like, the way the homes are situated, like you could watch the games. I forgot. It's a baseball stadium. I think it's in Chicago, but
I
don't
mean, if
quote me on
if
that.
it's in Chicago, it's probably Wrigley Field because I mean Wrigleyville is like I mean the whole neighborhood is kind of geared around
Mm-hmm.
the baseball stadium. So I don't know if what apartments have a view into the field, but I mean the whole neighborhood you gotta kind of have at least a minor level of interest in Cubs baseball to be able to live in that area. Because I mean, even if you don't like baseball, there's going to be people coming into your neighborhood, several times a week
There's
during
gonna be
baseball
people that
season.
break into your house to watch the baseball game. They're like, shut the fuck up, sit down. We'll only be here for 7 innings. And then and then you just got your hands up and watching people watch the game from your terrace. You guys hung out when Stu went to England, and you was telling me earlier, like, where did you
Mhm.
go?
Yeah, so I was traveling with my mom and
Get
did
out
a
of
couple
here, for
shows out
real?
that way. Yeah, yeah, she loves London and I enjoy it too. And so we fortunately Lee was in town, and so my mom, loves Ted Lasso, and I enjoyed Ted Lasso, but she was like, let's go to Richmond, and I'm like, is Richmond a real place? Like I thought they made that shit up. and, and if you go, a little a little west of London, there's this cute little town, much like many other cute towns, or around England, and it's much more well known because of the show. And so Lee was nice enough to meet us for lunch.
Y'all ate lunch at the Ted Lasso Richmond Club. So is there a team called Richmond for real? Or they made that
There's
part up?
there's a team in the sixth division called Hampton and Richmond. It's like two
Oh.
towns. They've got like a combined team. So the team in the TV show is entirely fictional, but it's a real town, Richmond.
Right.
And
Mhm.
in the series, the pub is where the fans go.
Mhm.
Um, so it's yeah, but it's a real pub they use for the filming and everything. So it's yeah, it's become quite the tourist hotspot now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lovely town, and it was tube accessible, which I always appreciate, and yeah, the pub food was nice.
And
But yeah,
how do you rate Stuart's mom's football knowledge, Lee?
I think it was more Ted Lasso knowledge than football knowledge.
yeah,
She scored an A on Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso knowledge.
yeah. She
I
knows
love.
she knows how good. um, that's it is because the Brett Weinstein's character is named Roy, right? In the show,
Mm. Yeah, Roy
it's
Kent.
Roy Kent. I kept on wanting to say Roy Keane because I feel like
That's who they
there's no
modeled
way
him after.
there's
Mm.
no way it's not Roy Keane just in another form. But played by a sweet what seems to be a very sweet man. but yeah, it'd be great if my mom like really knew how like the stats of the AFC Richmond players. But couldn't tell you a lick about any real football players. Um,
Hilarious.
but but yeah, she thought it was she enjoyed the park that's near the town, and Lee and I got to catch up a bit, and but yeah, it's always nice to see comics that I only talk to online for most of the year every once in a while. So there's a big network. It's a big little world of us comics around the world. So I'm glad we got to hang.
That's dope. So let me just trying to look at this list again. There's Nottingham Forest, Arsenal, which did Nottingham Forest get Gio Reyna yet? Or is that a rumor?
I don't think that's
It's
confirmed
not
yet.
been yeah, it's not been announced yet. It's I think it's on the cards because Nuno Espirito Santo is a George Mendes client, and George Mendes recently signed Gio Reyna to his agency, and it's what happened when Nuno was at Wolves. That's why they signed all Portuguese players, because they were all Mendes clients who got farmed in there. So yeah, there's like a deal to be had there, I think. And I think there was one other club in for him as well. I can't remember who it was. Another team in Europe. So he'll have a choice to make. But it wouldn't surprise me if his agent sort of funnels him, encourages him to go down that route. I think it'd just be interesting to see him in the Premier League as well. It'd be a good opportunity for him. And I think the American fans are missing a sort of Premier League talisman since Pulisic decided to go to Serie A. Obviously, there's Matt Turner, the goalkeeper at Forest as well, is American, so he'd have at least one other compatriot there as well. So I'd be interested to see it for sure.
I guess one of the biggest matches that weekend is Newcastle versus Aston Villa. And Newcastle played Fulham in the FA Cup and won, which Newcastle needed a win. And they also needed a rest, and they got both. And so their players were able to play at Newcastle level energy against Fulham in the FA Cup, and they beat them. And now they have a really tough test versus Aston Villa at Villa. What do you guys think of Newcastle versus Aston Villa this weekend? So it's a huge game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. Oh, go ahead, Lee.
Oh no, you're on it.
I think it's really just a matter of like, I mean, it's going to be two confident teams because I mean, Villa, held Chelsea at Stamford Bridge during the FA Cup. Martinez, I think, was the reason, one of the big reasons why that 0-0 tie held. So I think if Debu can, continue to be on this, swing of confidence, and and Villa can hold. I mean, and Villa's also been, I think, undefeated at home this season, which is pretty insane.
Tough to beat.
Yeah, and that Villa Park's got to be, I think they're trying to make it seem like it's, they're trying to make it like Anfield, just so tough to play at. So I think it could be really exciting. I mean, my guess is probably 1-1, but Villa might pull it off. I don't see Newcastle winning.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I'm looking forward to it. It'd be a really like ultra competitive game, that one. It's the sort of fixture you want to watch. Yeah, like Emery is a smart coach. I would lean more towards Villa on that basis because they're at home. Like Stu said, they've been super consistent there. They've taken down Man City there. They've taken down Arsenal there this season. And also, I just think Emery is a little bit better as a coach than Eddie Howe of tailoring like a really specific game plan to the opponents and studying the opponents. And that comes from the extra experience he's got. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards Villa as well.
I'm leaning more towards Villa. They're just having a better season. They're more focused, and they're home. The fans are going to support them, and Unai pays attention to detail. And I know Eddie Howe's good, and his team was tired, but Villa is just on one right now. And I just remember a game when Newcastle came to Villa last season, and Villa just took them apart. And I think Villa has had their number recently, so I don't see any reason for it not to continue. So I'm going to go Villa too. And the other big game coming up this weekend, Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield, a real Premier League game where fans could say goodbye to Klopp again.
Yeah, really was hoping for that that announcement to happen next week. But here we are. Really, everyone's going to be, letting Klopp know that he'll never walk alone the whole game. So yeah, I'm not holding out too much hope. But I mean, if we can nab.
I'm alive. Are you Heathrow? Is that?
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
his?
I can hear you. Yeah, it might be his end.
Yeah, we're good. He froze.
I'm
Like
just
Oh
he's
no,
reinstilling
he's back.
confidence going into the next game, which is against Wolves, in on the 4th, and then going up against Villa again on the 7th for the FA Cup. So it would be a night.
say what you said again because you froze. So say what you
Oh,
said
okay.
again. Like
If we can,
let's hear your pessimistic speech about the outcome of Chelsea versus Liverpool.
if if we can pull off a point at Anfield, I think that could be enough inspiration to have confidence going into the game against Wolves next week.
Can I just stop
And
you right there?
yeah,
You know how you was talking about Villa hasn't lost at Villa.
yeah,
You should check the record of Liverpool this year. Just period. they
yeah, I
they
know.
don't they
It's
don't be they be winning, bro. Like
yeah, no, I'm that's why I said if. I'm not saying when. I said if.
and anything could happen because you know what, there was a when Chelsea played Liverpool this season, I think they tied. Didn't they play already this season? At the beginning of the season, it was a
Yeah,
tie at
they
Chelsea.
would have they would have played once before.
Yeah, I think Disasi scored in that game.
Yeah. So you know what? My bad. You know. Yeah, it's possible. I just think Liverpool is so much better now. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I mean, it would also depend on if Salah is healthy. I don't know if he will be healthy by then.
If he
I
gets
think,
healthy, he's gonna go back to. I think they're still in the Afghan, but if he gets healthy, he's supposed to go back to Afghan. But he just came back to to Liverpool to use their training facilities to heal
yeah,
up and go back.
yeah, and on Lee, what you were and what you guys were saying regarding them playing earlier at home this season. Oh no, that was April. I scrolled back too far. Okay. I thought I had the score. They had tied 0-0 when it was at home, but yeah, I don't know where that other.
Yeah, I don't think Liverpool did beat them early in
It
the
was one
season.
one in
So
August.
all
That's
right,
where it was,
all
and
right, yeah.
Disasi did score.
So yeah, you guys got a chance. I mean, Klopp didn't announce his retirement then, but so you had that
Every
going for you.
every every game is a farewell tour now, isn't it, for
Yeah, pretty
Liverpool?
much. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, well, we'll see how fired up they are on Tuesday. Oh
But
man.
and I don't even want to mention United versus Wolves on Thursday. I know this is going to be a difficult game because Wolves almost beat us. I think in the first game of the season, they just missed their opportunities, and we got lucky. I think we beat them 1-0 or 2-0, but we should have lost like 3-0. But let's see what this new United with its healthy players who weren't there. We got a center back that can help us break the lines and pass out the back, and having Martinez back, get a little game time this weekend in the FA Cup. Shaw's back, and I just want to say one thing about Anthony. It's uh, he's frustrating, and that's a nice way to put it. Like he's never seen an overlap that he's ever liked. Like 30 times a game, the lot will fly by him on the outside and give him the option to like just have a pass, a clean pass. And Anthony be like, no, thank you. And turn inside and just say, I'm going to take a shot, take a cross that's like a shot, or just give the ball away to somebody in the middle, or just go backwards. But this free pass you're giving me to build up positive stats, or to, because the lot could cross a part of, like, if Anthony's not going to cross the ball to Holland, then give it to the lot who's overlapping. He who could cross the ball to Holland. It's like Anthony's like, if I can't score, Holland ain't scoring. So he's the best defender against Holland, no matter who we play, because of his bad decisions, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, it's crazy. They both speak Portuguese. You'd think they'd be able to communicate that the overlap is coming. Uh, Let him know.
He's anti-pass to he's anti-easy pass. Like you got to take the overlap at least one time.
Yeah, vary it up.
This motherfuckers. I don't know if you noticed that today a lot. Like today, Anthony had an assist and a goal, but it was Newport, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's found his level.
You know,
his level is the Eredivisie in Holland and League Two. That's
And the way he celebrated that goal, because I think it was his first goal of the season. Man, it was like God had come down.
Yeah. The disciples did not celebrate that much when Jesus came back on the third day. Like he needed that goal, and I'm glad he got it. Because he needed that goal. Like,
yeah, maybe he'll send him on a tear.
I mean, I just want him to just pass to the overlapping player once and see how it feels. Maybe you'll like it, so you'll do it again. But Jesus Christ, who does Southampton have this weekend coming up? Or midweek? Do you have midweek games?
I think we got something midweek. I think we might be playing Rotherham. When's the Rotherham game? Let me have a look. Oh no, Saturday. We don't play till Saturday. We got no midweek. So we got Rotherham on Saturday, and then we play the Watford replay on the Tuesday, and then we play Huddersfield on the Saturday after that. So we would have had a whole week of rest, but the Watford game gets stuck in the middle. I'm just gonna have a quick look to see if I have any shows that night. Otherwise, I might. No, I don't have a show that night. I might go to that game, the FA Cup replay. We'll see.
Don't jinx your team, bro.
I've seen everything this season. I've seen an away draw, I've seen a home loss, and I've seen 2 home wins.
All right.
So my record means nothing this season. I'm like
You're not the Omen.
all over. Oh yeah,
good.
yeah. It's removed all superstition from me this year. Although the the one game we lost, I didn't park in my usual parking lot.
Shit.
And the 2 home games we won, I did park in my usual place. So there is some superstition.
So if you pull up and you can't get your spot and you're right in parking lot, leave.
Yeah, go home. Don't even go to the stadium. Yeah.
Turn around.
And the away game, I don't know what was up with that. I'm just never going to go to Huddersfield away ever again, because me and my brother went to Southampton away at Huddersfield 10 years ago and we lost. And then this year I went and we drew 1-1. Well, maybe that's how it goes. Like we lost this one. We drew. Well, we lost 10 years ago. We drew this one. If I go to Southampton away at Huddersfield in 10 years' time, we'll win, because that's the way the trajectory is going with that one. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that's the slope of that line. Yeah.
So definitely do it again. So Stu, we're about to bounce. Tell everybody about this special again, the date where they can see it. The platform.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks so much for having me. It's always nice to be back, and it's always good to talk with soccer with
my
people
pleasure,
in the
fam.
know and with friends. So the special is called Conditional Love. It's coming out on Wednesday, Valentine's Day, February 14th, on my YouTube channel, which is at Stuart B. Thompson. That's STUART. All my socials are at Stuart B. Thompson, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, Threads. I'm on those things, and I'll be posting clips, and I'll be posting links. So if people want to see it, it would mean the world to me. And if you like it, tell a friend. But and if they want to, it'll also be on my website, stuartthompsoncomedy.com.
And the name of it again is
Conditional Love,
which is how you feel about Chelsea.
It's getting there. It's getting there, man.
Just seeing if the title has a double meaning. You got anything you want to plug, Lee?
No, just Lee Hudson Comedy on Instagram. I'm going to be posting up my February dates. I'll be all around the UK in February and the coming months. So I've got a solo show in London, working on my hour. So all the details will be on Instagram.
All right, dope. And just follow me on Instagram too at Ian Edwards Comic, on X at Ian Edwards Comic. I'm on Facebook too. Just type me in. You'll see me. The person looks like me. It's me. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe on YouTube, Omni Studio. Thank you for listening on there, and for listening at iTunes and Spotify or wherever you listen or you watch. Be good. We love you. And one. Just